Hello AHA students, it's Mrs. Poe. Today we will be reading Each Kindness by Jacqueline Woodson. That winter, snow fell on everything, turning the world a brilliant white. One morning we settled into our seats. The classroom door opened and the principal came in. She had had a girl with her and she said to us, "This is Maya." Maya looked down at the floor. I think I heard her whisper, "Hello." We all stared at her. Her coat was open, and the clothes beneath it looked old and ragged. And her shoes were spring shoes, not meant for the snow. A strap on one of them had been broken. Our teacher, Mrs. Albert, said, "Good morning, this is our new student." But most of us were silent. The only empty seat was next to me. That was where our teacher put Maya. And on that first day, Maya turned to me and smiled. But I didn't smile back. I moved my chair, myself, and my books a little further away from her. When she looked my way, I turned to the window and I stared out at the snow. And every day after that, when Maya came into the classroom, I looked away and I did not smile back. My best friends that year were Kendra and Sophie. At lunchtime, we walked around the schoolyard. Our fingers were laced together, whispering secrets into each other's ears. One day, while we were near the slide, Maya came over to us and she held open her hand to show us the shiny jacks and a tiny red ball she had gotten for her birthday. "It's a high bouncer," she said, but none of us wanted to play. So Maya played the game against herself. That afternoon, when we got back into the classroom, Maya whispered to me, "Bet you can't guess who the new Jacks champion of the world is." Behind me, Andrew whispered, "Chloe's got a new friend. Chloe's got a new friend." "She's not my friend," I whispered back. The weeks passed. Every day we whispered about Maya, laughing at her clothes and her shoes and her strange food she brought for lunch. Some days, Maya held out her hand to show us what she had brought to school: a deck of cards, pickup sticks, and a small tethered doll. Whenever she asked us to play, we said no. The days grew warmer and warmer, and the pond thawed. Grass began growing where snow had once been. One day, Maya came to the school wearing a pretty dress and fancy shoes. But the shoes and the dress looked like they belonged to another girl before Maya. "I have a new name for her," Kendra whispered. "Never knew. Everything that's come to her has come from a secondhand store." We all laughed. Maya stood at the fence, and she was holding a jump rope, but did not come over to ask us if we wanted to play. After a while, she folded it, doubled, rolled the ends around each hand, and started jumping. She jumped around the whole schoolyard without stopping. She didn't look up not once, just jumped, jumped, jumped. The next day, Maya's seat was empty. In the class that morning, we were talking about kindness. Miss Albert had brought a big bowl into the class and filled it with water. We all gathered around her desk and watched her drop a small stone into it. Tiny waves rippled out away from the stone. "This is what kindness does," Mrs. Albert said. "Each little thing we do goes out like a ripple into the world." When Mrs. Albert let each of us drop our stone in, we told her what kind things we had done. Joseph held the door for his grandmother. Kendra helped change her baby brother's diaper. Even mean old Andrew had done something. I carried teacher's books up the stairs, he said, and Mrs. Albert said it was true. I stood there, holding Miss Albert's rock in my hand, silent. Even small things count, Mrs. Albert said gently, but I couldn't think of anything, and I passed on the stone. Maya didn't come to school the next day or the day after that. Each morning I walked to school slowly, hoping this would be the day that Maya would return and she'd look at me and she'd smile. I promised myself this would be the day that I would smile back. Each kindness, Miss Albert had said, makes the whole world a little bit better. But Maya's seat remained empty, and one day Mrs. Albert announced to the class that Maya wouldn't be coming back. Her family had moved away, Mrs. Albert said, and then she told us to take out our notebooks. It was time for spelling. That afternoon, I walked home alone. When I reached the pond, my throat filled with all the things I wish I could have said to Maya, each kindness I had never shown. I threw small stones into it over and over, watching the way the water rippled out and away, like each kindness done and not done, like every girl somewhere holding a small gift out to someone and then someone turning away from it. I watched the water ripple as the sun set through the maples, and the chance of kindness with Maya became more and more forever gone. And that is our story, Each Kind.